Who gunned down David O'Leary? Is this the face of David's killer? He needs revenge. If anyone can find the man, Desperate Dan can.
My son was assassinated. It's as simple as that. The press came and saw me. A gunman was laid in wait in his home. Do you want me to tell you the story?
I want the story.
Right. What happened was my son was out with his girlfriend at a nightclub, and they left the nightclub, got a taxi, went home. The taxi driver dropped him off. He lived in a cul-de-sac in the countryside. They went in, the lights were off. She went to put the lights on. He was shot in the stomach. He said, "Run." There was a second shot. In the meantime, because it's a cul-de-sac, the taxi driver's doing a three-point turn to come back out, sees David on the doorstep, goes and sees he's dead. He then phones either the 999. When you phone 999 for an ambulance, the ambulance and the police arrive.
Yeah.
So the cops said to him, "Stay in the car, shut your windows and wait until we get there." Apparently the cops arrived about an hour later. So this poor old taxi driver is now suffering with nerves because they've had him sitting there waiting for a gunman. Anyhow, so the gunman then has run off down the road, and apparently someone's seen him, and that's the identity kit picture. I've had two private detectives working on it.
You have?
Yeah. And they are on a covert operation. They only work for me.
Right.
So I just get the information, and there's nothing to pass on as it happened. No. There is no news, so I can't pass it on.
But would you to the police if you got it?
The answer to that is, if it was 1,000,000% no. If I knew who the killer was, no, I wouldn't pass it on to the police. I know what I've got to do, don't I? It's as simple as that. But we're not talking 100%, 1,000,000%. It has to be 1,000,000%, because otherwise, if in the Dando case they'd caught him, I'd have killed him, and I'd have killed the wrong person, wouldn't I? I want someone to show me how I can forgive when a man's waited in the hallway in the dark and shot their son or their daughter in the stomach and put one in their neck.
So this is something that people would call a contract killing?
Well, that's what I don't know. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That, or it's just a crackhead they haven't caught.
Right. A burglar is what you're saying?
No, definitely not a burglar. No, it wasn't a burglar. But when I speak to the police, I said if I knew it was 1,000,000%, I'd go and put one in his head, phone you after I'd phoned the Daily Mail to sell my story, because I ain't going anywhere. And he goes, well, you know, that's how I speak. I mean, that's how it is. It doesn't say in the leaflet I want justice, does it? I don't want justice, I want revenge. That's what I want. Yeah. I'd like to know who and why. Why would I want to kill? Why would anyone want to kill someone? What would you have done to want someone to kill you? So, some silly old geezer. You shouldn't be about. This brain of mine's like a computer. It's flying. Probably the same as yours. And it never stops, you know. So until the killer's caught or I'm killed, I just got to carry on. The police have said that my son's a drug dealer.
They laid that label on him too?
No, they told me that this morning on the phone. He said, your son was a drug dealer. I said, well, hang on a minute. What proof have you got? He said, we got statements. We've got statements that he's a good guy, and we've got statements that he's a bad guy. I said, but the statements you've got off where he's a bad guy are off crooks who've got previous conviction. Is that right? He goes, yeah. I said, so it's all you're just guessing. And that's why you don't want us, that's why we couldn't go on Crime Watch, they're saying. Because of his lifestyle. My son's lifestyle. I said, what, a scaffolder? If my boy was a drug dealer, he was a drug dealer. I don't know.
Yeah.
He was 31, I'm 68. It's a big gap. He wasn't around here all the time, was he? When you see the van that I'm driving, I said to the cops, there's a Winchester 73 pointing at me. He goes, what? I said, Day of the Jackal. I said, it's $500,000 now. I said, there's a contract out on me. He did say, if I thought that, they'd put some undercover officers out. But no, it is a possibility, isn't it?
Of course it is.
Not that I want to make it a possibility, but if I was the hirer of the gunman, I either want to kill the gunman or get rid of this lunatic. That's why I want to know, just to think, oh, you killed him for that reason. That's why you killed him. You know, and there is no reason, unless he'd killed your son or your daughter, then you would kill him, and I think that's what I would have done. So you understand? Unless he's killed someone, which I know he hasn't, then there's no reason to kill him, is there? No. In my opinion.
No. But you live life to the hilt, don't you?
I don't drink anymore. I just stopped one day, finish.
What prompted that?
My wife died, that was it.
Right.
So my wife died, there's no one to save me from drinking, was there? I wouldn't change anything, really. Oh, sorry. After probably cut down on my drinking from my first wife, that she always wanted me to stop drinking, which I never did. I was an alcoholic, hellraiser, up to the age of 59 when she died. If you asked me a thing that I would have done, I would have tried harder to stop the drinking for her, but nothing else.